Boys and girls, today in SAXON, we are going to learn one of the most difficult lessons and also one of the most fun lessons, I think, that we will have in SAXON. Now, if you are a second grader and you were here last year, you might remember this. The words we're going to learn today are called wild colt words. Wild colt words. Now, do you know what a colt is? A colt is a baby horse. And as you know, Mrs. Bennett's a cowgirl, so I know about baby horses, right? And baby horses are crazy. They just love to hop and jump and kick and play and run and be wild. And so the reason these words are called wild colt words is because they don't follow the right rule. Just like a baby colt who's going crazy and running all over the place and kicking things, he's not following the rules. So wild colts don't follow the rule, and wild colt words don't follow the rule. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to show you some words, and from the rules that we know about coding words, I want you to code the vowels in these words. So you need your worksheet. Oh, no, you don't need your worksheet yet. I'm sorry, you just need a blank piece of paper. And you need to write these 4 words. And I'm not going to tell you what the words are. I'm not going to read them for you right now. I just want you to write them. So pause the video and write the words down. Now, none of these words have a sneaky E at the end, do they? So since they don't have a sneaky E, and the vowels are followed by 2 consonants, all of these vowels should be coded with a breathe. All right, so let's go ahead and code these vowels. All we're going to code is the vowels. I want you to code these vowels with a breathe. All right, have you got them coded? So now let's read them. Bull, I, n, d. Bull, I, n, d. Blend. That does not sound like a word I've heard before. Let's try this one. I, n, d. Find. That does not sound like a word I've heard before. Old, ald. That does not sound like a word I've heard before. Old, talled. And that does not sound like a word I've heard before. Boys and girls, these words are wild colt words. They do not follow the rule. Let's look again at our words, wild colt. What does the vowel in wild say? I, old. It says its name. It should have a macron over it. What about colt? Olt. It says its name. It should have a macron over it. Boys and girls, these 2 words do not follow the rules that we've learned. They're wild colt words, and we just have to know them. And that's why I said it's one of the hardest lessons and also one of the funnest lessons. Let's go back to the 4 words that we had, and let's erase those breathes. Okay, will you erase the breathes off of those? So now they should look like this, right? Now, can you read these words? Do any of you know what these words are? I'll bet you've seen this word before. What does this word say? Find. I-N-D. Find. Yeah. So it has a macron over it because the I says its name. Find. So what if we put a macron over this one? What would this word be? I-N-D. Blind. Yeah. Now, shall we try that with the other 2? Old. Old. How about old? Told. So I've been telling you all this time that the vowel is only long if it has a sneaky E. And now I have to break the rules like a wild colt. We're going to make it a long vowel, even though it doesn't have a sneaky E. Now, have you noticed what these words end with? What letters do these words end with? D, D. Sometimes LD, sometimes ND. So that's going to give you a little bit of a clue about wild colt words. Okay? They're going to end with an ND or an LD instead of a sneaky E. And that's going to make that vowel say its name. All right? So right now, I want you to get out your worksheet, page or number 103. And we are not going to do our dictation today because it's Wednesday and we have, ta-da, SAXON bingo to play. So we're not going to be doing our dictation today. So all I want you to do is code these 10 words with me. Now these first 5 words are wild colt words. So remember that the vowel is going to be coded with a macron. Let's code the rest of the word. Ch, I, old. Do you see that it ends in LD, like wild? Bold, and. Oop, there's our ND. Ness. And ness is a suffix. Blindness. So we don't need to split that syllable because ness is that second syllable. Blindness. Gold fish. G. O. There's our LD. I. Sh. See, normally the vowel would be a breve if it has 2 consonants that follow it, right? But this is a wild colt. Gold fish. And we're going to split it right there because it's a compound word. Gold and fish put together is goldfish. Okay, let's do this one. Posted. Oh my goodness, that's an ST. Yeah, that's an ST, not an LD. So the vowel is still a macron. That is a wild colt word. Post. Posted. I, and there's our LD, wild. Well done. Which one matches our picture? Goldfish. Okay, the next 5 are reviews. Ladle. You code it? I'll code it. Ladle. thundercloud. Coal. Oops, get the back on that C. Ow, like mouse. D. This is also a compound word, thunder and cloud. So I know we're going to split it between those two. But let's clap out thunder. Thunder. It's also 2 syllables. Let's see if we can find a V, C, C, V in there. Yes, I found it. Did you? Let's split it between the 2 consonants. Thunder, cloud. All right, our next one, widely. Now we know this is a macron because we have our sneaky E right there before our suffix ly. Widely. And again, we don't need to split the syllable because our suffix is the 2nd syllable. Radar. Radar. Ooh, there's a V, C, V. We always split it after the first vowel. Radar. Well done. And our last one is an A word. Remember we learned A earlier. Digraph AU. A. Auction. Oh, it has our digraph AU and it has our final stable syllable, TION, that says shun. And don't forget the back on the C. And since we have split it with our final stable syllable, we don't need to put a syllable break in it. Auction, auction. An auction is where you might go and buy things and people bid different amounts of money and the person who says the highest amount of money gets to buy the item for that money. Auction. All right, let's go ahead and turn it over onto the back. We're going to read the paragraph together one time. Then I would like you to pause the video and read it 2 more times with a family member before we answer the questions. All right, I'm going to zoom that in a little bit, make it a little bit bigger for you to see. Okay, and look, it's talking about our wild colt words. Here we go. Are you ready? Wild colt words are just like real wild colts. No matter how hard you try to tame them, they do not do what they are supposed to. I think they just have minds of their own. You can't hold them down. You can't scold them. Wild colt words are bold and do not follow our rules. There are even some that follow both rules. We wind. Does that look like a different word that you know? We wind the clock, but the cold wind is blowing. Oh my goodness, look at that. They're spelled exactly the same. How are we going to know which one is right? It has to make sense in the sentence. We wouldn't say that we wind the clock. We wind the clock, but the cold wind is blowing. We can't forget about words like sold, post, fold, grind, and gold. We really need them. So I guess we will let them be the way they are, wild colt words. All right, I'd like you to pause the video and read this paragraph 2 more times to a family member. Then we're going to come back and answer the questions together. Okay, go ahead and pause. All right, are you ready to answer the questions? Remember that we are going to find them in the story and underline them before we write them. Number 1, What do these words act like? What do wild colt words act like? Can you find it in the story and underline it? Yes, they act like real wild colts. Real wild colts. I'm just going to go ahead and code those so that you can remember that they say their name. Number 2, name 3 wild colt words. So I want you to find 3 words in here that are wild colt words. Underline them and write them. You go ahead and do it, and I will do it too, and then we can compare our words. So if you need to pause the video while you do that, you can. Okay, I chose wind. I think that's a good one to know because it's spelled the same way as wind. Fold and post, and I underlined those in my story. All right, number 3, name 1 wild colt word that can have a short or long vowel. Oh, I already did that one. Wind and wind, right? So it can be a macron and say wind. It can be a brief and say wind. Okay, let's go ahead and read our high frequency words. Oh, there's a couple of wild colts in there. Cold, find, hold, kind, most, old. All of them were wild colt words. Boys and girls, that was a fun lesson, and we will visit wild colt words more another day. Right now, I would like you to get out page 103, the activity sheet that has our bingo board on it. I would also like you to find something around your house to play bingo with. It might be Cheerios or M&Ms or pennies. You need to find something to mark your board. And when you come back, please click on the next video and we will play SAXON Bingo. See you soon.